Hello everybody, Shelly here, and I'm filming my intro after I've already filmed my intro and actually filmed the whole makeup look because I don't normally do this, no, but I wanted you guys to see these eye look, and I wanted you guys to take a second and guess which of these is the $65 Natasha Denona Glam palette and which is the Alter Ego Shadow Kiss $16 palette. Can you tell? If you want to guess my ring finger, my wedding ring finger, I guess I have rings on both hands, my wedding ring finger as being one or the other, leave me a comment down below. Otherwise, let's get into the video. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shelly and I'm so glad that you guys are here. Today we're doing a dupe video. Now everybody's got their own opinions on dupes. Say I don't love a dupe if it's really a replica, if it's really fake pretending to be that. However, if it's inspired by, my scale kind of drops a little bit. So I don't know if you guys are the same way. I like a bargain. I like to save some money. So today we're gonna take the Natasha Denona Glam palette, which came out in, was it 2020? No, not 2019, I think. And I wanna bump it up next to the Alter Ego Shadow Kiss palette, which came out in 2020. I just lost the sleeve on it. This is brand new, has never been used. I have a couple videos where I've done Alter Egos before. As far as dupe brands go, the quality seems to be pretty good. I like the fact, I say that kind of tongue-in-cheek. I like the fact that they're not laid out exactly the same, which kind of gives you the impression that they're not trying to be exactly the same. It's not called the same, the shades are not named the same. However, it makes it a little bit more challenging when you're trying to do a dupe video and pick the same color because this is a cool toned neutral palette and I just want to put them up next to each other. Now Alter Ego does do, they'll do deals for certain influencers. I'm not sponsored, affiliated, endorsed. I don't get anything in PR. So you're not going to see any kind of coupon codes on my channel. However, I recommend that there's other ones out there. Trend Mood, Ali Glines, Hot Mess Mama, MD. There's a bunch of YouTubers that will have a code. I just personally don't have one. So even if you know, if you're interested and you want to save some money, you want to save even more money, and they usually give like 10% off. So, okay. Now, the Natasha Denona Glam palette. This is one that I absolutely fell in love with when it first came out because I love cool toned neutrals. That's kind of like my everyday jam. This particular palette is $65. You know, you might be able to find it on sale some places, Sephora VIB sales if you've got status with that. Something along those lines. I don't know. I'm gonna grab a little of the Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas Eye Base because I noticed that my moisturizer I had on my eyes is now soaked in. We're gonna kind of level the playing field as much as we can. When I do my dupe videos, I like to be just as surprised as everybody else. And I usually will take the same brush and just do a color switch with one of these bad boys. I think I get this from AOA. No, this one came in a box here. But I'll color switch in between shades and then try to use the same brush on both sides. And at the end of the day, we're trying to dupe colors. We're trying to get the same color story, not necessarily formula. I don't know that there's much, by the way, to compare Natasha Denona formula with anybody else because she is spectacular. Her palettes are usually made in Italy. I've got a timeline here, so I'm trying to get through this video because I know a lot of you guys really do like the dupe videos. Any ways to save money and still feel kind of bougie. Now, in my past experience with the Alter Ego formula, I have not been disappointed. I have not felt like their quality is even less, although I think these are all made in the PRC. So we've got, you know, Chinese formula versus Natasha Denona's. I'm just guessing, read it. I'm taking the darkest shade in the Alter Ego palette and I'm gonna apply it on this side. And I'm kind of doing like a modified version of one of Natasha's techniques of how she puts on makeup or how she applies eyeshadow. Now, highly recommend you guys follow her on Instagram. She's very accessible. You make comments and she likes them. I mean, she could be a complete snob about the whole thing and she's actually seems very relatable. I've watched some of her master classes. They do tend to have them on YouTube. You can kind of catch her in action. I think it's fantastic. I love the way she answers questions and stuff. Okay, we're taking the darkest shade in the Natasha palette and same thing over here. Smudging that into the eyelashes, give you that kind of smoky base to start with. So far, so good. I know it's kind of crazy looking right now. We're gonna fix that a little bit. I'm gonna do a cool look, right? We're gonna go in with this kind of, what would you call this? Kind of taupe color. So the first one was called Umbra. The second one's called Shade on the Alter Ego side. If you guys hear any kind of breathing, it's not me. Not my dog. They're both in here. One of them's upside down on the bed. The other one is, she's a loud breather, mouth breather. The snoring can be endearing sometimes. Okay, I just sort of built that up right next to that because I do want to kind of do the smoky look. And then on the Natasha side, I'm grabbing this shade over here. And we're putting it dark shade started with, that edge a little bit. Okay, we're gonna go into, I kind of want to use this shade up here called Vanish, kind of like a tan color. Do get a little bit of kick up on the alter ego side, but that's okay. I feel like that got a little tiny bit, but then builds up on itself just fine. And I'm gonna blend it into the bottom. I probably should have done more cleanup underneath it. Just have to play with that when we finish up here. Okay, cleaning up the brush a little bit. This is where it gets a little trickier. I think that's this shade right here on the Natasha side. Actually the same amount of kick up. I don't feel like that was any more or any less. And I don't mean to be comparing formula because frankly, you know, we shouldn't be able to, but it's hard not to. Blends beautifully. I feel like this palette was really the cool tone answer to bronze. I love both of them. Right now I've just done all mattes. I'm gonna go back in to Vanish on the alter ego side and just kind of, I took what was left on the Natasha side and just sort of drug it over my lids, but I kind of wanted to set down that primer a little bit so that we have a good base for the shimmers that I want to use now. Now, you guys probably know this already. Her shimmers apply very well with a finger. I really want to grab, probably one of my favorite ones in this palette is this pink over here. This is on the Natasha side. Just gonna try to keep that on my movable lid and not travel too far down below. Now, I don't get too worried about it being a little messy because I am gonna buff it in there again. Something I always do. When I buff after I've gone a little overzealous with the shimmers is I try to just kind of grab it from the darker and then buff it in so that the blend is there. And now I feel like I needed to kind of go back over that darker shade too. Going back into my original brush, and we're gonna grab that darker shade too because I feel like I got a little overzealous in the buffing and I wanted to kind of keep that shape going here. And I'm gonna clean off my finger, a little micellar water, dry it off. This particular one, they put that pink right in the center, and on the alter ego side, it's called Really, really, really pretty. Take my brush and cut it in a little bit. So far, that's the first shade that I've been able to see that there's really a huge difference. I need to build up that darker shade again like I did with the first time. On the alter ego side, it's maybe even a little bit more of a peach kind of undertone, like the pink is a little warmer pink, versus on the Natasha Denona side, I feel like it's a little cooler toned. And I don't have another one that's that same kind of pink. So we're just gonna try to build it up a little bit more, see if I can't get them to match. Oh yeah, that, and see that match a little bit more now. There's just the ever so slightest difference between the pink and the peach. Because I have these close set hooded eyes, you hardly even notice that shadow. So would anybody really notice it? I don't know. I'll clean this brush off again. I feel like my blend here got a little out of control. That would be a user error, not a shadow error. I'm going back into her shade. This is her crease shade, but I'm gonna use it just right up here at the top edge. See, on this palette, that shade looks almost gray. It's not the right one. Okay, this is the shade that's on the alter ego side called Desire. I almost blend one better. Okay, I didn't use those eyeliners, did I? I need an inner corner highlight a little bit, so I'm gonna grab, might as well just go in for it. We're gonna grab this lightest, brightest shade right here. Almost a white silver, just in there. With the brush. It's a little bit more tricking on this side, but I think it's right here. I feel those went really, 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 really well. I'm gonna grab her Micro Tech eyeliner in black, and let's put on some black eyeliner. I'm gonna use this on both eyes just to keep things consistent, and then we'll put on some mascara and I'll be right back. Okay, you guys. I'm back, and I gotta be honest, color-wise, I can't really tell the difference. And that's shocking, right? Because who would take a $65 palette and think that you could get exactly the same, almost exactly the same shades from a $16 palette? Now, coupons aside, you know, the main differences between these two, aside from the price point, a little bit difference in the formula. This one is a, you know, cardboard packaging with a mirror. This is a heavier plastic packaging with a mirror. This one definitely feels more high-end luxurious than this one does. But the colors, this one's almost even just a little warmer. That one pink shimmer in here, this one right here in the center, this actually has a really beautiful undertone to it that I keep thinking that the one on the Natasha Denona side has the same one, but it's just slightly different. I need to go back into that just one more time. It's so close, you guys. Can you really even tell the difference? I don't know. Anyway, you guys, I hope you guys are doing really well. I hope these kind of dupe videos interest you. I am happy to come back and do more. I've got more coming. Yeah, but this is one that I've been meaning to do for a long time. I have seen other people do dupe videos of it. There's professional makeup artists out there that are doing dupes of these types of things. By all means, I encourage you, follow them. They're fantastic. For me personally, I'm not a makeup artist. I don't get anything in PR. I gave you my honest opinion. Do the best I can with what I have, knowing that just at the end of the day, it's makeup, it washes off. It's not that serious, but can we save some money, especially this time of year? It's always kind of something I'm interested in. If you like the cool tones, if you like the easy blend, kind of smoky sort of look, these are good choices. I hope you guys are doing really well. I hope you guys are doing really well, and until my next video, bye for now.